Whether you have $50,000, $500,000, or $5 million currently sitting in your reserve fund, you're probably wondering, what should I do with all that money while it's not being used? Well, you're in luck. In our Investments and Inflation webinar, we explore how to get the most out of your reserve fund by making it work for you, keeping it safe, and minimizing the funding required of the homeowners. We'll start off by addressing roles and goals, the foundation of our program on reserve fund investing. Well, thank you, Paige, for that introduction. Hello and welcome. Thank you for inviting us into your home and office today. So just like Paige said a moment ago, we read the comments you write in our end of session survey, and that's exactly why we're presenting this material today. We believe that bringing in an expert to talk about reserve fund investment fills a big hole in reserve study education. We here regularly teach about how much reserves you should be setting aside, what to be reserving for, or knowing if you should feel good or bad about the size of your current reserve fund. It's an entirely new subject to talk about taking good care of those precious reserve funds, and that's what we'll be addressing today. This is how we'll divide our time. I'll start out laying a bit of introductory foundation before Dave shares some of his insights about investments. But it starts out with the appreciation that everything deteriorates and everything is expensive to repair or replace. So in this whole process, the associations need to have cash available to pay to care for their facilities. Many associations set these funds aside gradually on an ongoing basis, and that's what we recommend. Now, some associations wait until the last minute and don't hold much in their reserve fund at any particular time. That's risky because you can't rapidly collect cash from the homeowners or get a bank loan. That all takes time. And because of that, you'll end up plunging your property into potentially expensive decay. But again, with recent bank failures, there's also some risk to losing the money that you've collected. So that's why we're presenting this webinar today, because there's risks on both sides. In dealing with these challenges, there's three parties involved: the board and manager, who are responsible for the association's finances; the reserve study professional, who identifies the upcoming needs of the property and recommends how much needs to be set aside to prepare for those projects in a timely manner; and the third party is the investment counselor, who serves like any other expert the association relies on to provide wise counsel. And that person helps the board safely and wisely navigate the way forward. So let's look at these roles a little closer. The board is responsible for managing the needs of the association, setting the budget, which means collecting the income and controlling the expenses, so the corporation is sustainable. And in making all those decisions, the board serves under the business judgment rule, and that limits their liability exposure when they're doing their work serving the association if, and here's the key, if the record shows that the board passed the following three-part test. So this is a big deal, that the board served the association with a duty of care, meaning they put the time and energy in to make good decisions, with a duty of loyalty, meaning they put the needs of the association above their own, with a prime example that they should raise assessments if the association needs the money, even if that puts a pinch on their own personal budget. And the third is a duty of inquiry, meaning they asked questions when the answer was not patently obvious. So in other words, as a board member or manager charged with taking care of other people's money and making decisions that affect the value of other people's real estate investment, the only safe path forward is no guessing and no risk-taking. Now, for the reserve study professional, we're responsible to guide the association forward using National Reserve Study standards so they have sufficient cash to take care of the property. Now, we recommend a smooth and stable funding plan that's evenly spread over the homeowners and is fundamentally fiscally responsible. It's not responsible, as I mentioned a moment ago, to ignore the very real and high cost of ongoing deterioration and rely on those last-minute special assessments or costly loans. And the role of the investment counselor is to provide expert advice, expert counsel to help the board make wise decisions about what to do with the money, how to manage that money, applying best practices, saving them time and the administration of that money, and then helping them avoid mistakes. At Association Reserves, we make the present less stressful and the future more secure. If you want to join us in this mission, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment down below on what you'd like to see us address in a future video. Let's plan for your best future.